And how long do you plan to stay?
I plan on staying in here as long as necessary.
I am homeless also myself. I have no place to stay, so I come here to support Tent City. Maybe we can bring attention to the world. What is happening to one of the richest country in the world, and us Native people and all other people who are homeless, we are forced to live in the streets.
Down the street from Tent Village, a large crowd is gathered for the Women's Memorial March. It's held every year to honor the over 3,000 missing and murdered women in Canada since the 1970s, one of many issues disproportionately affecting the country's Indigenous population. Today, over 30 women are reported missing from the downtown Eastside.
I'm here to remember my daughter. Her remains were found 4 years after she went missing.
My late sister was 26 years old when she was reported missing.
My daughter, Jessie Foster, went missing March 29, 2006.
My niece, Tamara Lynn Chipman, went missing out of Prince Rupert September 21st, 2005.
A local farmer, Robert Picton, has been convicted of killing 6 women and is accused in the deaths of at least 20 others. Organizers want a public inquiry into how police respond to reports of missing women and whether any deaths could have been avoided.
As soon as maybe someone that is from a richer family, as soon as they go missing, a lady goes missing, they have investigations, but our ladies don't get investigated.
The police are extremely unresponsive. The entire justice system is unresponsive to missing and murdered Aboriginal women, not just in BC, but all across the country.
We deserve to be respected. We deserve to be treated like human beings.
This is the march's 19th year. This year, city officials approached organizers about canceling it during Olympic festivities. But the March Committee held its ground, and the largest ever crowd turned out.
The Olympic Committee wanted this march to be delayed.
They did, yes. You know, we're here to stand up for the missing and murdered Aboriginal women, and they're not going to stop us. They can try, which they did. The police came and met with our organizing committee, but we're not willing to hold back the march.
This is absolutely incredible, and it's beautiful, you know, that all the people have come out. And I'm glad that the Van Ock committee wasn't able to cancel it, that the people stood by their guns, and that the people in this community in the downtown East Side are able to maintain their presence throughout the Olympics.
As the most underprivileged neighborhood in a port city overrun with heroin, cocaine, and crystal meth, the downtown East Side's drug epidemic is staggering. It's now the most concentrated area of drug use in North America.
That's been a tremendous transformation in the neighborhood. Like, it could have been one of those issues where people got divided between good people and bad people, good citizens, bad citizens. And what happened was that people came together, and the drug users themselves started speaking out, saying we have rights, and we need health care, and we need housing, and we need to have our rights respected.
One outgrowth of this movement is the Portland Hotel Society, which runs domiciles for people living with issues including drug addiction, mental health disorders, and HIV. The Portland also runs Insight, the only safe injection clinic in North America. It faces the constant threat of closure from the right-wing Canadian government. Mark Townsend is the Portland's executive director.
It came about because in the projects that we were working in, which were primary housing projects down here, people were dying. They were overdosing, and also they were, sharing rigs, or if they were using the alleys, they were using puddle water and stuff, and it seemed that didn't seem right. And it seemed that maybe we could do something a little bit better for people who are so pushed to the margins of society.
How long have you been coming to Insight?
I guess pretty much since I've been a user of needles, so about 3 years. They're great people here.
How often do you come here?
Probably about 3-4 times a day, minimum.
Insight has taken over 1 million injections off the streets of Vancouver. It's also had around $3.5 million of studies, and it concludes that there are some basic things that are obvious. It does reduce the spread of HIV and AIDS because obviously all the equipment's clean. Addicts that use this place are more likely to go to detox and treatment, despite the fact that the provincial or state government here, the police, the local city government all support this. The federal government, even though they don't fund it, do not support it. They won't believe the evidence, and they funded all the research, and all the research is relatively positive. They just do not believe it, and they don't like it. So they've dragged us and a couple of addicts here through court. We've won them every single time.
If this place were to close down, how would that impact your life?
Quite a bit, actually, because I know the staff here. They're great people. This is a great place. I mean, it's safe. You can come in here and shoot up, and not have to worry about the police coming to arrest you.
Well, the immediate effect is 1 million injections will be back on the streets and in the hours in the hotel rooms. The long-term effect is people will die, disease will spread, people will be less likely to go to detox and treatment, and it will cost the healthcare service more money.
Although Eastside has taken over 1 million injections off the street, the widespread drug use still seen on corners and in alleyways underscores the severity of the downtown Eastside drug crisis. It's easy to feel horrified and judgmental. Those who work here urge compassion.
I work predominantly with women, and I can say confidence that approximately 70% of women that I know who turn to drugs because of childhood trauma, of sexual assault, and of child apprehension. And that, addictions are they're a symptom of something. They're not anything in and of themselves. And there's reasons why people are addicted, why people are drinking, why people are forced into these desperate situations.
The many problems notwithstanding, what's also unmistakable here, and voiced by almost anyone you talk to, is a sense of community.
People look out for each other. I don't think that happens much anywhere, in any of the large city urban centers across the world.
This is the Guru Nanak Free Kitchen. We serve about 1,000 meals every Saturday and every Sunday.
After many years of doing this, what's your sense of the homeless problem right now in Vancouver?
It's been increased. We've seen new members. We've seen new people on the streets. A lot of the guys may not be homeless, but they can't afford to feed themselves.
Before the Olympics, a group of media activists established the Vancouver Media Co-op. Co-founder Don Paley.
It's a place for media makers who believe in social justice and who are part of movements or who are in support of movements, environmental justice, migrant justice, and specifically anti-colonial, anti-capitalist struggles, to come together, to share ideas, to put out pieces, to work together, to support each other in media. We do trainings. People can access machines here. And we meet once a week, and now that it's Convergence, we've been here pretty much 24/7.
We fought for labor rights in this neighborhood. We've squatted to get a park. We had to fight to get a community center, and we fought and scratched and scraped for housing. So it's no surprise that the community spirit to fight for social justice is still alive and well in the downtown Eastside, and people are waking up and they're organizing.
When women are going missing and when women are being murdered in this neighborhood, the people who find out are not the cops. The people who are looking out for each other are other women in the neighborhood who are looking out for women's safety when they're out working late at night on the streets.
On the morning of the opening ceremonies, just hours before the games began, the provincial government of British Columbia announced a $10 million cut to programs for at-risk children. That's just one part. Days after the Olympics close, the government will come out with its next budget, and many expect that to have major cuts to education, to housing, to healthcare, and the arts.
So we're faced with a situation where we've spent a lot of money, not so much the city, but the national and provincial government on these Olympics, and yet the plight of poor and homeless people is not going to get better as a consequence of these Olympics, and it's in reality going to get worse.
The government needs to get their priorities straight and see us on the map here, and recognize us and acknowledge us, our people here. We're just as human as the rich people, Even though we're not as rich as they are, but we are rich in heart for caring and loving and respecting our people here in our country.
On the game's last day, people across Canada celebrated as the men's national hockey team defeated the United States in the gold medal game. In the downtown Eastside, there was a different cause for celebration. Less than 2 weeks after occupying that vacant condo lot, 41 homeless people living in Tent Village won a promise from the city to be placed in social housing.
Many have been homeless for a long time, and one guy, awesome guy, he hasn't slept in a bed in 8 years, and he's got a place. He's got his own apartment, and he's ecstatic, and we're all pretty stoked today. None of that would have happened without the Tent Village. There's just no way.